LCC Radio 89.7 and LCC TV. Suzanne Fischer is with me, the museum director with the History Center. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are things at the History Center?
Things are great.
I should say Michigan History Center.
Michigan History Center, yes. Yeah. Always a good time. You know, we have 12 museums and historic sites around the state, and the summer is a busy time for all of those sites that are not in Lansing. So always something going on.
Right. Mm-hmm. There's sites in South Michigan, Northern Lower, and in the UP.
And in the UP, yeah. I was just up at Fort Wilkins in Copper Harbor, and
nice.
One of the most beautiful places you can possibly go to.
Yeah.
But also a great place to learn about the copper rush and Michigan in the 1840s.
Yeah, yeah. Very cool. Now, you've got a new exhibit opening September 8th. What is that?
Yeah, so it's a new exhibit opening here at the Michigan History Museum in Lansing, and it's called States of Incarceration.
Okay.
It's about mass incarceration, and it's a national touring exhibit, kind of thinking about what are the historical, how did we get to where we're at?
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah.
So really putting all the stuff that you hear in the news about mass incarceration, about these racial disparities in prisons, and putting that into historical context and really trying to understand what's going on.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is there a Michigan component to this, or is this a national? I mean, this is a national tour, right?
Yeah. So this is a national tour, and it's a really interesting model. So it was started by a group called the Humanities Action Lab at Rutgers, and the model that they set up is there's kind of a core exhibit about with some key themes, and then they've gone to different universities around the country, and a college class has worked with a community group that has something to do with incarceration to build a new piece to the exhibit.
Wow.
So going into their local histories to add, so they call it a national dialogue of local histories. So there's all these small components from different places around the country, and which is really cool. We're taking the show and we're adding a bunch of Michigan stuff to it because we really want to make sure that Michigan is put into this big context. But we're also doing this partnership piece too. So we're working with an MSU history class taught by Dr. LaShawn Harris this fall and her students. And they are working with a local group that works on prison issues. And they're going to add a piece to the show in January. Yeah. So it's a really neat opportunity for people here in Lansing to see this national exhibition and to learn a little more about incarceration in Michigan history.
And then in January, see what the history classes come up with.
Exactly.
That is so cool. That is such a neat idea. And how long has that been touring?
It's been touring. It opened in 2015, actually.
Oh, okay.
So more than 500 people have added to this exhibition so far.
That's so cool. Now, do you have the whole exhibition?
Yeah, we have the whole exhibition.
Okay.
So you can learn things about Georgia and Massachusetts and Arizona, but also a substantial amount about Michigan and what we've been up to here.
Okay. And this starts September 8th. Do you have like an opening reception of any kind?
Yeah, so we're going to have an opening event. September 8th is a Saturday.
All right.
So at 1 p.m., we are going to have Heather Ann Thompson speak. She is a historian at the University of Michigan, and she wrote a book about Attica.
Okay.
The Attica prison rebellion, Blood in the Water, and that book won a Pulitzer last year.
Yeah.
And, the Attica happened September 9th. So we are really delighted that she was able to take some time off from her busy kind of anniversary touring schedule, and be able to share some of this information with people here.
Yeah.
So she was one of the scholars that helped start this exhibition several years ago.
Wow.
So she was really excited to be able to help us launch it here in Lansing.
Yeah, along with, wow, that is so cool. That's fascinating. So that's one on September 8th.
Yes.
Saturday, September 8th.
So, yes. And we're going to have a number of other programs, panel discussions, and film screenings. We don't have that calendar totally finalized yet.
Okay.
But the show is going to run through May. So there'll be a lot of opportunities to really dig deep into this content and learn more from people who who are active studying and working on this issue.
Right. Now, a lot of times you have activities like on your first Saturdays.
Second Saturdays. Second Saturdays we have family activities, yes.
So how do you bring family activities into mass incarceration?
That is a great question, and that is one of the things that we were thinking about when we decided to take this exhibition, because, you know, a lot of our audience, a lot of our visitors are not just family groups with smaller children, but also school groups.
Yeah.
Right? Because lots of students come and learn about Michigan history from us. Because we're the one place where you learn about Michigan history.
Yeah.
So we added a whole section to the exhibition about Michigan's reform schools.
Okay.
Like the boys training school that we used to have here in Lansing.
Right.
Right. It started before the Civil War, and was known by a number of different names, right, including the Industrial School for Boys. There was also one for girls in Adrian. And so this was a place where if you were a kid under 18, the ages differed during the whole long time these were open.
Yeah.
But if you were a kid and you were arrested for something, for stealing, for various things that we might not consider a crime today, you would be put in one of these places, and you would maybe learn a trade. At a lot of the girls were indentured out to families, so they would be in the reform school, and you know they would go to work for a family, and they would get some money. Some money would go back to the school for getting them.
Okay.
So, and so we're really trying to get to the heart of what kids can think about this, which is what is fair.
Okay.
What is fairness? Because that's something that, like, when you're a kid, you really feel that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's not fair.
That's not fair. Yeah, that's not even.
Yeah, right. And here's a kid that, a boy who, for whatever reason, stole some bread and then ended up in the boys in the reform school until he was 18. Well, is that fair? What kind of experiences did he have there? And you know, there's a lot of really interesting issues that you can dig into from a kid's perspective. And so we made this special section about Michigan's reform schools that kids can just go into and they don't have to see the rest of the show.
Okay.
If parents or guardians don't think that's appropriate. So we're trying to be really sensitive to that, because it is really an adult topic.
Yeah.
And it was really developed for kind of a college student and adult audience.
Okay, cool. But what do you have planned for your second Saturdays? Do you have one for that would be the second Saturday, wouldn't it? September 8th?
Yeah, September 8th. I'm
sorry. I'm hitting you up, and that's probably not
I
your
know. I can't tell you, but you can go onto our website, michigan.gov/MHC, and hear a lot more about what we're doing for those programs.
Yeah.
We don't really have incarceration themed programs for toddlers during this.
Right.
You know,
right.
That's
you guys always have such cool programs.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's not, you know.
I guess it doesn't have to do with incarceration.
Right. But of course, this is an issue that affects lots of children, because there are lots of kids whose parents are incarcerated.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we really want to open space for that. But there's a lot of different audiences that can really relate to this content.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So michigan.gov/MHC.
That's right.
All right. That's the place to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Suzanne Fischer, the museum director for the Michigan History Center, on the Coffee Break on LCC Radio 89.7 and LCC TV. It's your community station.